we don't want the entrepreneurs to just go out of the country and don't have a roadmap. We need a roadmap. I think Southeast Asian products are very rich in flavor. Having said that, it does help to create that awareness that these products are available and can be available in the UK.
Hello, listeners. Today we have Cheryl Ellron here with us. Cheryl is the CEO of Ellron Consulting Services, a market entry consultancy that help international brands, manufacturers, and businesses explore and expand in the UK and also European markets. And we just managed to catch her. She was just in Sabah, and now she's in KL and Selangor as well for two events with Matrade and also the Agriculture Ministry. So, Cheryl, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, so Cheryl is actually originally from Sabah. And today we're going to discuss that a bit as well. So, Cheryl, tell us more about your heritage and where you're from.
Yeah, so I am Cheryl. I am Murut from Keningau. So saya orang Keningau dari Sabah, and I'm proud to be Sabahan.
Mm.
My kampung is in Kampung Biak.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there are like hundreds of tribes in Sabah, right? So what is the distinction of Murut?
I think, yes, there are plenty of tribes in Sabah.
Mm.
There's the Kadazan, the Dusun, and then there is the Murut. Murut would mean in our language the hill people. So we live on the hills. We are one of the last tribes to practice headhunting. So, for instance, if it was 100 years ago, I love to tell this story, by the way. 100 years ago, if I had someone who wanted to marry me, instead of, the normal way of proposing, you get down on one knee, the man would have to find a head and chop it off, present it to my father, and say, I would like to marry your daughter. So, but now that we are a lot more civilized, we don't do that anymore.
Does it have to be a
Somebody's head.
human head?
Yes, somebody's
Wow.
human head. So I think this is also practiced with a lot of our Sarawakian tribes as well, where they were also practicing headhunting back in the days. But again, that was 100 years ago, long time ago. So no one has to worry now about that. Yeah.
Now, headhunting is very different today.
No, headhunting is very different. Yes.
So yeah, thanks for sharing that about the Murut people. And before this, our discussion, I remember that you said you're very passionate about products from Sabah, and exporting and bringing products of Sabah to the world. So can you tell us more about that as well?
Yeah, so being a Bornean, I'm very passionate not just about Sabah, but also Sarawak as well. There's a lot of potential on both Borneo islands, and I believe there is a lot more potential for us to be on an international platform. For instance, the Sarawak government, I'm just going to give an example, they have placed a satellite office in Singapore in order to promote a lot of their Sarawakian products, such as Sarawak Laksa, the pepper, Sarawak pepper, kolomi, and things like that. And Singapore being a financial hub and then having a lot of tourists coming to Singapore to stop by, they were able to identify some of these products in Singapore, which come from Sarawak. Yeah, so I think we've got a lot of potential. Sabah Sarawak is very rich with its resources, some of the products that I've identified in Sabah, for instance, is the Sabah ginger, which comes from Tambunan. We are looking towards exporting that out to the international market, but I'm still in discussion with the ministry to further discuss on production and all that. Yeah.
So you say the Tambunan ginger.
Yeah.
What other Sabahan or Bornean products do you see there's potential?
There's a lot of potential for the coconut sugar, a lot of potential for niche products. I can identify that some of the snacks, for instance, tempeh, there will be a Sabahan delegation coming to London sometime in November, and we are looking towards that, a bit of seafood, which
Wow.
meets the UK regulations, and another company doing solar panel. So these are opportunities for us to expand our, horizon on an international level, and
Yeah.
especially towards the UK and Europe market. Yeah.
I I am based in West Malaysia. Of course, we are in KL here, and we don't hear a lot of things about whether it's Sabahan or Bornean products. What do you think are the challenges of these products from Borneo?
I think that we are kind of like the underdog, that we are not being put on a platform, or there's not enough awareness. Perhaps there's not enough campaigns to bring these products out there. And I feel that me being where I am currently in the UK, that gives them an opportunity, that gives them that bridge to say, there's someone here that wants these products. Yeah.
We are based in KL here, but we don't hear so much about Sabahan products. Why do you think that is?
All right, so the Sabah and Sarawakian government are very serious about bringing their products out there. And now that they have met me, who would be able to facilitate and support a lot of these products to the UK, for instance, they don't have to look at, is there a right platform there? The platform is already there. And I have been having a lot of discussions with them. Recently, we did the Maha event. The Ministry of Agriculture was also there, and they are very keen, for instance, to export the ginger products all the way from Tambunan. When I was back in Malaysia in July, I had a meeting with the Sarawak government as well. They're very keen on bringing some of I think there was about 4 products that were identified, to bring these products out into UK, for instance. And there is a demand. There is a demand because, for instance, kolomi, people look at it as like an instant noodle. No, it's from Sarawak. And what's so special about it? It's the noodles itself, and it's the seasoning itself that makes kolomi so special. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking about, identifying you, now that they know you are the person, right, who can market Malaysian products in the UK and also European markets,
Yeah.
tell us as well what you do when it comes to that.
All right, so I've recently collaborated with a cash and carry. They have a warehouse in London, and they also have a warehouse in Paris. Being a market linker or market entry consultant, I'm also the sourcing agent for several tier 2, tier 3 supermarkets in the UK. So how they use me is they know that I'm very well versed in Southeast Asia, particularly in Malaysia, and Malaysian products is a growing brand by itself, and they find that there is a lot of potential. So they need to use me to say, okay, we're looking for these products and these products. Can you find them? And they also do their own searching for themselves, but then I am an addition to that helps them to increase a lot of their SKUs in the supermarket and all that. Yeah.
I feel that's very important. Like, for example, if you are, expanding your products here in Malaysia, you need to put your products in like all the grocers and all the hypermarkets. So when you mentioned that all these convenience chains and
Yeah.
things like that, they are distribution channels, right?
Yes.
So like when they engage you, all right, so it saves a lot of time when it comes to, and getting to these distribution channels, right?
Yeah, so some of the activities that we have done in the past when promoting these emerging brands, these products that have absolutely no existence in the UK, we do in-store promotions at their location. It's normally done on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where the footfall is very high, and when it's on, and even more when the footfall is a lot higher during seasonal times such as Christmas, Chinese New Year, and Easter and things like that. So we've done those with a few government agencies. For instance, because I'm a market linker for the Ministry of Agriculture, we've done multiple programs with pharma. We've done business pitching for these entrepreneurs in front of buyers and also investors. So I am well connected with the UK in terms of that, and I do have investors, a pool of investors that are interested to collaborate perhaps, or even have a partnership, or even invest in the product because they see that there is potential for that in the UK or even in the European market. Yeah.
Okay, so I will want to bring this when I have my podcast, right? I always like to make this relatable to most of the businesses out there. Of course, this podcast will also be shared in the entrepreneur groups as well. So, for example, let's say I have a chili sauce, right, from Perak. So I'm from Perak, and I say, hey Cheryl, can you help me to market this to the UK? What are the things that you would do with me? Like, what are the steps that you would start with?
Okay, so we have a program that we work with a lot of government agencies, whether it's from Malaysia, Singapore, or even Indonesia, wherever. And this stage one comprises of having a group of entrepreneurs. And we have about 20 modules. So me and my associate will come to that particular country. For instance, I'm Malaysia. We come to Malaysia, we have a 2-day workshop, introduce them about the modules, the business landscape, the culture is very, very important to understand and know in the UK. I'm not trying to try not to underestimate culture, because once you enter a foreign market, you need to understand how things are done there. I mean, we're so used to having our own ways of doing things. Like Malaysia, we're always on the way, but are you really on the way? And if you're doing business in the UK, if your appointment is at 9 a.m., you have to be there at least 5 minutes before 9 a.m. And 9 a.m. means 9 a.m. So these are the things that, you can't really take for granted. Eye contact is very important. Having a firm shake hand is also very important. Trying not to aggressively or over aggressively sell your products and all that. So these are many things that entrepreneurs may have overlooked on. And this is the workshop that allows us to understand a bit more before getting ready, before going to the UK, because UK, it's expensive and it's your time. And you can't buy time. You can still find money, but it's the time spent with this 2-day workshop that allows the entrepreneurs to save time, save money, and understand before heading towards the next level. So which will come back to my next stage, which is stage 2. So for instance, coming back to your chili, we need to understand the capacity level. What is how much can they produce, let's say, in a week? Are they able to produce to meet, let's say, Tesco standards and all that? And if you can't, then we'll have to lower down our expectations and say that, well, if you can only produce, say, a pallet, then we'll look for a tier 2 or a tier 3 supermarket that would like to have the chili sauce. But having said that, Tesco has about 4,000 or 5,000 outlets. And if you can't produce on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, then that's going to be my business reputation. Tesco's going to ask, why'd you introduce me to someone that can't produce? And it does make sense, I know a lot of entrepreneurs have big dreams that they want to enter Tesco, Morrison's, Holland and Barrett and all that. But it takes time. It takes time, especially when your brand isn't there yet, that has no presence. There's a lot of groundwork that has to be done before entering the UK market. So pricing has to be right. The production line has to be good and healthy. We've got to understand your story behind why you created this product. A company profile would come in handy, so then we can understand. And when we present these to our investors or even to our buyers, they say, okay, I'd like to have a meeting with them. I'm interested in knowing what kind of chili sauce they make. And one success story is that one lady has a chili sauce. She ticked all the boxes, and that cash and carry loved it. He absolutely loved the chili sauce, and he has brought it to his supply chain in Paris, and he is looking into exploring to bringing in more of the entrepreneur's chili sauce to UK and Europe.
Yep. And when we talk about Sabah, you mentioned about the standards as well. So do you help these products like my chili sauce, do you help them to see if they are compliance to the standards?
Yeah, the compliance is very, very important. There is no shortcuts when it comes to the UK. I have to strongly mention this because definitely you have to tick all the checklist. There's a checklist. Use it. It's all documented. For instance, you can't have meat. Meat from Malaysia is a big no-no entering the UK. Seafood, there are about 21, 22 seafood companies that have been approved that meet the UK requirements. But anything outside of those 22 companies, when they are not allowed to export or export into the UK. Yeah. So compliance is very important. Following the policies is very important. Yeah.
Yep. So thank you for sharing all those steps. So you have
Yeah.
a lot of education, I can see, a lot of talking to the local buyers as well, the local markets. And then, of course, you also help to identify if they are compliant to the standards, which is, there is no shortcut to that. So the question might be, what is the potential of the UK market? Like what is the potential? What you said, there's a Muslim population, and what other potentials are there?
I think Southeast Asian products are very rich in flavor. We are rich in terms of our resources and natural resources as well. And, people are looking at Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia as a new market for them. And having said that, it does help to create that awareness that these products are available and can be available in the UK. Yeah. We have plans to have I don't know if I should say this, but a Malaysian kitchen program.
Okay.
Yeah. So a Malaysian kitchen program to create that kind of awareness. First, it is awareness. It's not about buy and sell. It's not about trading. It's creating that awareness that, hey, we've got fantastic products coming all the way from Malaysia. But it does require a lot of coordination, a lot of breakdown of process for each one and everyone, whether you're from the agency, whether you're from the ministry, to play their part. It's not just one party doing everything. I believe that teamwork is very, very important, which is why I always move forward with collaborating with someone, especially the Malaysian government, in order to make some of these programs happen. Yeah.
And you also you also founded another company called Makan Bites as well, right? Tell us more about that.
Okay, so Makan Bites was kind of like, is my baby. When I went to the UK, I moved to the UK in 2020, and it was during the pandemic. I think it was a time where, you have a lot of thoughts when you're not allowed to go out of the house. So I created a website online, and it is an e-commerce website to create that kind of presence, to introduce Malaysian products on a platform, on an online platform, and that has been very, very successful in its and it snowballed to a lot of other things, which was why Ellron was. So Makan Bites came into the picture first, and then Ellron came into the picture later on.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yep. So that is so, like, for businesses and also for products, right? Looking to expand into the UK. So what are the challenges that they may encounter? So we have talked about a lot of things, from education, culture, to compliance. What other challenges that they might have?
For the entrepreneurs, they just need to have that spirit, never giving up. I know it's there will be a lot of challenges along the way, and I've only been doing this for about 4 years, but it has expanded to beyond my expectations, because I only thought that I would do, Makan Bites and online buy and sell and trading. It's very, very simple, straightforward kind of thing. But then with the Malaysian government coming in, and we also have international clients coming from Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines, I don't want to restrict myself to just Malaysia. I'm more than happy to do a lot of collaborations with Southeast Asian countries. I know there is a lot of potential in Southeast Asia. Believe me, it's going to be big. And then the consultancy side is, creating programs such as the global Gate to Global programs that I've done in the past. We don't want the entrepreneurs to just go out of the country and don't have a roadmap. We need a roadmap. We need them to understand everything, get them prepared before they go out and sell themselves, sell their products. So that's where the Ellron Consultancy comes in. We are a group of professionals. I have one of my business associate who used to be a buyer for John Lewis, and he knows that it's not as easy. You've got to have, like I said, you've got to have the right checklist in order for you to get in there. And we have one Singapore client, which is very, very big. They've already established themselves in the US, and they have this dream to come into the UK, and they haven't done it. They haven't. They needed our help. It took them 2 years to get in, and they've never got in. And now they've appointed us as their consultant to bring their products in. And it's not food and beverage related. It's something else.
Oh.
Yeah, and this was referred by the Malaysian government, Singapore client. So it's all on referrals and what we've done and how we've been very, very passionate about what we believe in. And I've got the backup of the Malaysian government to do this, and I'm very, very happy. Very happy.
So you work with like Trade and also like the Ministry of Agriculture, like you mentioned, right?
Yeah, so I am the official market linker for the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, and Pharma is the marketing arm. So a lot of the marketing side, I will deal directly with Pharma. And yeah, we've done programs with Trade, we've done programs with Mara, we've done programs with, one of our clients is SME Bank Malaysia. So we're more than happy to get the word out there that we're doing something really, really serious, and on top of that, we're really passionate about it. It's like working 24/7.
Wow.
UK and Malaysia is like 8 hours, 7 hour difference, 7-8 hour difference. It's like a 24-hour job, Bob. It's not easy. Yeah, but passion drives us. Passion does drive the team, the whole team. Yeah.
Yep. And you mentioned a couple of success stories already. Do you have more success stories to share?
Okay, so I did a trade mission in January, and we've brought in plenty of investors, plenty of buyers who were keen. And there was one particular buyer who was keen. Out of those 17 companies, he has selected, I think, 5 or 6 of these companies to come into the UK. And this is the one that has a warehouse in London and has a warehouse in Paris. And we've done one of our latest campaigns, which is the Malaysian Carnival. And it is a yearly event in London, in Hertfordshire. And this is organized by the High Commissioner of Malaysia to the UK. And what happened was everything was all sold out, all the Malaysian products. And it was a success story by itself. We had the High Commissioner, Dr. Zakri, to officiate the emerging brands or the new brands that have no presence in the UK. And we have informed him and told him that these were the brands that you met in January, and now it's 31st of August. And it's like, wow, that's fantastic. And then I introduced him to our buyer, and it's like, this is fantastic. It's like, this is, beyond our expectations. And I know new brands, they take a long time to get into the UK market, for people to familiarize it. And we did it in 6-7 months. Yeah, that's a success story for it by itself, I would say. And it's good that we've done it, because not everybody can pull that off. I'm not saying other brands would probably take, well, don't quote me, but this is one of the success stories that our team has done. It's because of how we do business. We love to collaborate. We would love to have, a partnership formed. Everybody plays their part, because it's not a one-man show. Honestly, you need to hold a lot of things together, and you need help. That's yeah.
Right. Thank you, Cheryl. I think you shared a lot of things already. We covered a lot of detail, right, of how you export to the UK.
Yeah.
All right. So if you need anything, so we'll put Ellron's website at this video as well. So you can contact Ellron Consulting if you need to export your products, whether it's the UK or beyond to Europe as well.
Yeah.
And if you're based not just in Malaysia, but across Southeast Asia as well, please contact Ellron Consulting. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Bob.